Pay attention to who you want to follow. Make sure they are beneficial for you to follow them, right? Because that is your time and time is money. No need to sitting up there listening to individuals and there is nothing that you can gain from them.
Welcome to Two VAs and a Mic, your guide to making money and serving your community. In our podcast, we'll help you learn about the journey of monetizing your skills and providing your services professionally, all from the comfort of your home.
We also will talk to our business owners, authors, writers, CEOs, and solopreneurs who may use or benefit from using a VA in their business. Boil all that down to two VAs and a mic, and then mix them together with two different perspectives, flared with expertise.
What do you get? Shauntá Harris, founder of Shauntá's VA, LLC.
And Lovelee Brooks, founder of Lovelee Occasions and Etc., LLC.
I know a lot of individuals that come in are new or aspiring VAs. And I thought this would give everyone an opportunity to put themselves out there. Sometimes it can be, overwhelming, especially when you're first starting out to just jump out there. I thought Lovely and I could, just open it up for anyone. Let us know what you got going on in your business, who you are, why you started your business, just to help anybody else who may be on the fence or just need that another accountability person on their team or that they could communicate with to help them get themselves out there. So I will start. Once again, my name is Shauntá Harris, and in my business, I deal with words. I love words. I love the fact of communicating. Through anything you do, you have to communicate, right? So all of my services, newsletters and blogs, that's, more or less giving individuals information on specific topics that I may have, right? So if you are interested in newsletters, I hope that my newsletters, once you get them in your email, that they are valuable to you, right? So I hope that I am touching pain points and helping you be able to solve them. Another part of my service is privacy policies. As I've stated before, a lot of us new entrepreneurs, when we are doing landing pages or websites, we don't have that legal section on our pages. And they are very, very important. It is important to let your viewers and potential leads know exactly what you're going to do with their information, right? And if you are an affiliate marketer, you need to disclose that information on your landing pages, on your websites, so that individuals know that you will be getting a commission. I'm an Amazon affiliate, and that is a requirement. It doesn't matter if I put up a book on social media, I still have to let anyone viewing that particular graphic that I am affiliated with Amazon. So on all of my websites or my landing pages, you will have that information at the bottom. You'll have privacy policies, terms of condition, and disclaimer agreements. And I am very big on, once again, communicating. So anyone who does choose to use that service of mine, I help them make sure they get their point across, as well as inform their potential leads or followers. And then my last service is low content books. I love books. I just love them. And I think anything that you have in your business, be it an SOP, be it a course, just general information can be turned into a book and bring you in another source of income to your business. It doesn't have to be necessarily those particular ones, because I also create puzzle books. If you do follow me on social media, you will see that for the last month, I've put up puzzles and answers. Those particular puzzles and answers are actual puzzles that I create to go into my books. And at the end, I think we have 4 more puzzles to upload. And then the one that gets the most attention, I'm going to actually create a low content book full of those puzzles. That is what I do in my business. Lovely. Do you want to go ahead and give a little more detail on what all you do in your business?
Absolutely. So I like to look at my business in separation of maybe about 3 different ways, but we are a virtual assistant agency. So that's first and foremost. We will help you get your campaigns, your events, your day-to-day task up, running, and ready to go. Now, we do specialize in operations. So, mainly what we like to focus on are doing events. I am a certified launch manager. So, if you are getting ready to send off a campaign or you are getting ready to do all different types of things, do an event, if you're wanting to start selling your product, if you're wanting to start selling a course, if you're, all those different things. Well, there's a process in your campaign. We would be more than happy to help you with that. We can have people actually help you with everything from the graphics to the copy to the logistics of the actual event. We can help you with the timeline, make sure it all runs smoothly. So you can really just focus on what it is you want to say, focus on your audience, and scaling your business. We also do all kinds of project management because that kind of goes hand in hand with the events and launching, and online business management. So sometimes, it's not just the fact that you need someone to just go through your emails or you need someone to even just, do the low hanging fruit task. Sometimes you need someone to just get in there, help make sure and maintain the SOPs that you have in place, or maybe you don't really have them in place, but you have them locked away in a filing cabinet somewhere. So sometimes you need more assistance with your actual team. You need assistance with building your team. You need assistance with your systems. And what we do is we're going to come in and we're going to evaluate your systems. We're going to look at them. We could give you them recommendations. And then we would even, offer if you wanted us to actually implement those changes, then we would come in and we would help your systems to run smoothly, for your team to be on one accord. We can do some training with your team. So those are kind of all the different things we go in operations. With that, we also do sourcing. So some people, they have a team, they're ready for a team, but maybe you need assistance just finding the right match. You need assistance on what it all you want to look for and where to find this person. And you don't want to take time away from your busy running business to do that. So we do actually source for people that you also need to build your team. So we do the interviews, we do the vetting, and then we send them back to you. If they're all good, that's great. We can actually even assist with the onboarding, the training, and then the merging of them into your actual company and system. So that's kind of like the second way I look at the business. And the third way is I am a coach. So if you are a new virtual assistant or you're aspiring to be a virtual assistant, or maybe you are a virtual assistant, you have been for a while, but you find that things aren't quite as clear, you don't have quite the clarity that you would like on this journey, and you do need that clarity so you can go forward and you can actually receive what it is you want, then I would love for you to book a call with me. And then we can actually discuss ways that may be beneficial and see if we're a great fit for one another. So that's kind of the third way I look at it. And that's what Lovely Occasions and Etc. does.
Nice. And Lovely, we're on the topic of let's connect. How is Clubhouse? Let's just use Clubhouse and then we can go to a few different platforms. How is networking or connecting working for you, or just how do you see it working on Clubhouse? Do you like the aspect of Clubhouse in networking?
I think networking is key. I think it's very important. That's how you're going to get yourself out there. You're going to have to get yourself visible, especially online. People need to feel like they can trust you. And if they don't know you, but maybe you know their friend or you know somebody else that they use your services, that's always, to me, going to be a better bet. Because if you work with someone else and they're like, oh, yeah, I know so and so, I see them in a clubhouse room all the time or so forth, then they're more likely to mention your name, and then that's going to stick with you over someone you just don't know at all. So I think networking is very important, especially when you're getting yourself out there. And plus, you just never know who you're going to meet that's actually going to solve the problem that you need. Because sometimes I've been in some of these clubhouse rooms and I'm thinking, you know, I really wish I knew someone who did XYZ. And then I go into the room and they're like, hey, I do this, I do that. And the amazing thing about Clubhouse, I don't think I've ever met so many diverse people and a diverse atmosphere who do so many different things. I mean, there is a coach and a mentor for everything. There's people doing things I didn't know was a thing. So I think networking is very important. What about you, Shauntá?
I definitely agree. When I first got onto Clubhouse, I believe when I got on, it was still invite only. And when I tell you overwhelmed, oh my goodness, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't understand the vocabulary words. I'm like, what does that mean? Right? But it was one of the greatest tools that I could have been introduced to at the time because it was in the beginning of me starting my entrepreneur business. And I was just overwhelmed because I just didn't know anything. And I was so corporate America programmed. And then when I came onto Clubhouse, and it was like actual people, right? I'm not just looking at a post, I'm not looking or listening to a pre recorded video. I am literally listening to people who are where I am striving to be, and they are telling me how to do it. Now, please don't get it twisted. There were some individuals in the beginning that, you had to be skeptical of, right? Because you're like, wait, you can really do that? And then I would literally sit there and take some of the information and people were saying, go and do my research. And then it was like, oh, wow, I see how that could be possible. I knew it was going to take me a while to get there, but just to have the resource of a platform like Clubhouse where I could literally ask a question if you confuse me. Now, I wasn't one of the people that was about to get up on these stages, okay? Because my heart was going to beat a little bit too fast. I didn't know what people were talking about, and I thought I was going to make myself look stupid. However, as time has gone on, I have gotten a lot more comfortable, right? And it was a little bit easier now for me to cipher out who I choose to listen to and who I choose to think actually is giving valuable information versus them just piggybacking off of something they possibly have heard in another room, right? And I love Clubhouse for that, for positioning individuals to learn, right? Yeah, you got your ratchet rooms, and sometimes they're entertaining, and sometimes you need ratchetness, right? But I still think you should network in the rooms if you choose to use Clubhouse as network in the rooms that is going to benefit you, not that is going to hinder yourself or your brand, right? And it sucks like that to be like that, but it's just like school when you have click and this click and this click. Clubhouse is like that as well. But if you have intention, right, for what you are using the platform for, it is the greatest networking tool, I think, currently for an individual like myself who is still not new in the game, but new enough that every day I'm still learning. There's even experienced entrepreneurs that are still learning every day from whatever information that they listening to. So I do encourage anyone that is new and want to network, choose your rooms in Clubhouse, right? And like we state every morning that we're on here, if you're not comfortable coming up onto the stage, just hit somebody in the back channel, hit them in the chat. People will reply to you, right?
What are some of the tips that you would give for choosing which rooms are good for you to network in and which ones aren't?
I personally look for the titles, right? Because most of the titles in Clubhouse are not clickbait, right? So if you see a title that resonates with you, I would go into those rooms and just listen. Okay. I wouldn't automatically go up on a stage. I go into a lot of rooms, right? And, when people look at your bio, they look and see how long you've been on the platform, right? So I go into rooms, I will sit in the audience probably 4 to 7 times before I even think about going up on stage, because I don't know how all these people on this stage is going to flow, right? And I don't know how their business is. I like to sit back and listen to what individuals say. And then if I actually do like what someone says, I won't immediately follow them. This is just my strategy, does not make it law. I don't automatically follow them. I will wait a little while and see other rooms that I see that their name pop up, see what the title is, go into those rooms, sit my behind in the audience and listen to what they have to say. And I will do that a few different times in a few different rooms with a few different topics, just to see if those individuals are somebody that I want to connect with, or if those individuals are someone that I would like to continue to learn from, because it's not always like that, right? You could have us up on the stage right now and you have the greatest information and the greatest nuggets that I can take in, research and implement into my business if it aligns with my business. But then the next time I hear you going off on individuals and being very, very disrespectful. I'm like that in my everyday life as well, right? I'm not about to just be your friend, right? I'm going to sit back, I'm going to watch you, I'm going to check you out, because if you don't align with me, I don't have no business with you in my life. I do the same thing on Clubhouse. And I don't automatically just click on a freebie and then just automatically sign up for whatever it is. I have to pay attention to you. I have to watch how you are moving in these Clubhouse streets, because they can get you. Okay? Clubhouse can get you if you are not mindful. I think particular individuals, don't ask me about their characteristics, I don't know. But I think if you have intentions on what you are doing on the platform, you'll be fine. Like, I've never had any issues with anyone, but I stay in my lane, right? And to me, that's what I think. Those are the tips. Pay attention to who you want to follow. Make sure they are beneficial for you to follow them, right? Because that is your time, and time is money. No need to sitting up there listening to individuals and there is nothing that you can gain from them. That just doesn't do you any good, right? And then don't just automatically sign up for something. Make sure that person that you possibly sign up for, that individual is, you're going to benefit from that. Okay. You don't want to sign up, you get to the networking event and you like, ugh, this, what are we doing, right? Because it can happen. It is trial and error. But if you have a rapport with an individual speaking, if you have a rapport with a club or a house, because if you are invited to the house, Clubhouse has the rooms, the clubs and the houses, then pretty much they're giving you good value. They're giving you great information because you're in their house and they were allotted that permission on this platform. So, my main thing to anybody is just pay attention. Okay, just pay attention to what they have going on. And another thing is, if you go into a room, you like the title, pay attention to the topics. Because sometimes I have gone into the rooms, I love the title, I'm hoping to get information, but when I look at the topics, they're a tad bit different. Not because they don't go along with the topic, but they may be getting ready to gear towards a conversation that I didn't quite come into that room for. If you're going to teach me about lead magnets, and then I go into the room and the topics are entrepreneurship, networking, and gossip, at the end, I know by the end of the hour or however long that room is going to go, we about to go get into some gossip. What kind of gossip? I don't know. So just pay attention to the titles, the topics, and the individuals speaking. Sorry, y'all, that was a lot.
I think that's so interesting. I'm not your Clubhouse person, to be honest. It's not that I don't like Clubhouse. I'm just not a Clubhouse person. So a lot of the things that you mentioned, I don't even think I look at it that way. When I when they're like, "Hey, you got to put up some topics," I just throw 3 topics that somewhat go in there. So, definitely gave me a lot to think about. It's interesting how your strategy is. I think that makes perfect sense. I have also heard some people where they just follow almost any and everybody because it opens the doors to more rooms in your hallway. And then you can maybe find someone else that you feel like you connect with more that way. So I find that as an interesting strategy because, and this is for you, Shauntá, I personally feel like right now I'm in my same little group of Clubhouse people. I mean, I could go to different rooms, I could go to different whatever, but it's pretty much the same people I would say that I've been hanging around with on Clubhouse. I see their same rooms, and that's because I follow those same people. So I guess what I'm saying is, how do you feel like it helps or hurt the strategy to be introduced to really new people? Does that make sense?
I think I get it. New people bring new people, right? New people bring new opportunities. So on this app, I've never just stuck to what I know. Now, there is 3 rooms that I go into all of the time, right? I have Coco Connections because I love listening to the Black lawyers and the Black cops. And I love the topics because it'd be current events or it'd be just every day. You know what I'm saying? Everyday life. I love that because I have so many different viewpoints and so many different legal information that I personally didn't know, right? And then it helps me keep me safe, and how I can help keep my family safe by giving them information that I have learned. However, that is a big room. So when I'm in that big room, and being that I am followed by some of the moderators, I get to be in that middle section, right? So now people can see me. And if they see me, a lot of people will click onto my profile because the curiosity is, who are you and how are you following the moderators, right? At least that's how I think they're thinking, because that's how I think. And then that leads people more. I have a broader aspect of people who are in this room with me that do so many different things. But our key thing is we came in to get these current topics, Coco Connection, Coco melanated information to help us get through our everyday life. So in some aspect, we align, right? Because we all want to hear that information. However, it doesn't necessarily mean you're a lawyer or a cop. You could be a content creator, you could be a model, you could be a traveler. That just introduced me to a whole bunch of other people. Then I go into another room, Hello Houston. I don't know nothing about no Texas, right? Maybe I want to go there one day. But that room gives me all kind of topics as well. And the individuals that come in there, either they're from Houston, but they're most of them are all business owners, and most of them are truckers. I don't know nothing about no trucking. I learned everything from them. However, I appreciate the information that they're giving, and I appreciate the businesses that they have, because things that I don't know about, I still get to learn, but on a different aspect. And once again, I get individuals that see that I am following the moderators, or in that room, I actually do go on stage, and then people are going to click on my profile. And then there's a whole different realm of people I get to meet, truckers, right? So they're going to click on my profile. I'm going to click on their profile, and then I'm going to see them in different rooms. And then I'm going to look at the topic, and then I'm going to go into that room. Boom. There go hundreds of more people that possibly would click on my profile. So now my hallway is curated with so many different topics that I get to choose, right? I try to go, and I intentionally try to go into at least 3 new rooms a week just to meet new people so that my hallway can be so diverse. I took a German class like last month because I have different languages going through my hallway as well. Because when we first started a blog for Clubhouse, it was this group that were teaching individuals how to translate the English, because at that time Clubhouse didn't have multiple languages, right? So my hallway is curated with so many different topics that I can go into different rooms and network, or people will invite me up on a stage, or people will check on my profile, and then that just opens the door for so many different types of people and different types of businesses that I could potentially network with. I hope that answered it.
I did for the most part. So, but from my understanding, you have to follow them for it to come into your hallway. But is that incorrect? So basically, as long as they follow you.
I follow a lot of clubs. So when you
Oh, okay.
follow,
I got you.
yeah. So when you're following clubs and there's members in those, I think, I hope I'm saying this right. If I'm not, go ahead and correct me. But I follow a lot of clubs. So those clubs curate other people that are inside the clubs. And I think they pop up as well. At least they all pop up in your follow your friends. So because I follow so many clubs and then I follow so many people, so much random stuff beyond there, right? And then now in your hallway, you have upcoming rooms and rooms missed. I go through that list and I'll click on a club. And then next thing I know, I have new clubs and new people populating in my hallway.
Awesome. Okay. See, I told y'all she's a Clubhouse person. So
Yes, I do love it.
we're going to do our question and answer here. Now, I got some of your strategy. I will share one strategy that still sticks with me, and this was probably a long time ago. I had met a certain person, or I should say they met me, only because they clicked on my face and they sent me a back channel message saying, hey, I would love to meet up with you. We were in the same Clubhouse room. And I said, okay, all right. So that part was done and over with. Then they went on my Instagram and they were like, hey, I really want to meet up. I really want to have a conversation, just get to know each other, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool, fine. It was a Saturday. I remember that. Now, I'm not going to say I necessarily don't work on Saturdays, but to the public and everybody else, I don't. It's one of those entrepreneurships I might have to work just because I need to catch up or something like that. So, and for the most part, I think that most people think that way. Anyway, he started calling, like using the Instagram calling feature. And he was like, hey, can you meet up now? Can you meet up now? Really, this is kind of beside the point, but I'm just letting y'all know because I'm like, I'm looking a
Oh no,
hot
sir,
mess.
don't
It's
get off my phone.
Saturday. Like, what? I'm not trying to conduct business on a Saturday. But anyway, he called again. I'm like, okay, he is very persistent. So at this point, it's like, well, what do you want? You need some services. What is really going on? So I went ahead and I think after the second time, I went ahead and answered the call. And we had like this FaceTime call. And it was on a Saturday because I'm always remember that. But he just came in the Clubhouse room. He sent me a back channel message. He was like, hey, I want to get to know you a little bit better, have that meet and greet time. It was about a 30-minute conversation, I would say. So it wasn't extremely long. And it was just basically him introducing himself, what he does, me introducing myself, what I do, and possibly how we could fit or how we could align with each other. And if not, that was fine. It was literally like a quick meet and greet. And I had to ask him at the end, I was like, so do you always run people down for for these meet and greets? His answer was yes. That is his strategy. So he goes into these clubs and these rooms, and he will back channel you and follow up with you, which I'm so with because everything is in the follow up, you guys. Everything. It's really not about the initial contact, it's about the follow up. And I am one of those people, like, if you persistent, yeah, I'm eventually, okay, what do you want? So, I mean, it does work. And I just thought that was so interesting. So, every single person that he comes in contact with, that he feels like there may be something there, some type of maybe business collaboration or whatever, he makes sure he meets with them with a FaceTime call of some sort, every single person. And I thought that was really interesting. I can tell you, hey, from this day, and that had to be like 6 months ago, I still remember the person. I still remember the services. So it did definitely leave more of a lasting impression than if someone just like were to come into our room today and even just say something. So there was definitely more of a lasting conversation. But what's your feedback on that, Shauntá? Do you do something like that?
No.
No, she didn't just say it like that.
That is not for me. Okay. There was a gentleman that came into the room earlier today and he sent me a message, but I didn't remember who he was because he changed his profile picture. But you just made me remember who he was. I went into one of his rooms. I got on stage and I was speaking with him. I don't quite remember what we were speaking of, but what I did remember was he said, if you go on stage and you meet someone and you speak to them, send them a back channel. It was nice meeting you today in X, Y, and Z room. And I was like, oh, okay. That is a good idea, right? That gives you a way to connect with that individual and the possibility of following up in a couple of weeks, like, hey, I got this going on, da 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 da. As long as I've been on Clubhouse, I never thought about that, right? Because I was on Clubhouse before back channel even existed. I mean, they were back channeling, but it was a different way. Now that it's on the app, I do think that is beneficial in your networking when you are meeting new individuals. I'm not about to call you on no IG, okay? Because I don't think I'm like that. I don't think I am. I really don't. So I would suggest following Rob by hitting a person up in their back channel, even for you and myself. Thank you for joining our room, right? We see the individuals that are here. Send a message in the back channel. Thank you for joining our room. If you would like to speak more or whatever, da 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 da. Any speakers that come up, thank you for coming up and speaking. Yes, I think that is a great aspect of Clubhouse as well, because you did get to speak to them and you have another way of communicating with them. But I'm not coming up on your IG. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to do it. So I'm glad that works for him.
I saw Rhonda putting her information in the chat. It was a little extreme, but I do remember it. So
Right.
I guess that's why I'm like, well, it was a memorable experience. Hi, Rhonda. If you would, we're just kind of networking, talking about networking, how to get the best out of Clubhouse, that type of thing. Shauntá is the expert in that part, not I. But I know that Clubhouse is a very powerful tool when used efficiently. So, do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. Good morning. Thank you for inviting me up. I came to the stage came to the room a little late, so I hope my question isn't redundant. But the guy who was calling you on IG, it worked. You remember him, and I'm sure if you needed something from him, you would go back. But I'm Rhonda. I have three different brands that I'm working with right now. My personal brand, where I sing and speak to encourage people in every occasion of their life. So that's my personal brand. But then I also have a nonprofit, Finding Your Heart, that helps young women know their purpose before they get married and assist them with some kind of pre marriage work before they actually get married so that their marriages can last. And then I just started R&R Administrative Consulting, which is a project management brand where I'm helping churches and or nonprofits with knowing how to write a grant. And then I also have a client that I work with doing booking and calendar management. So my question may be twofold or comment twofold. As you can see, I'm a very multi-talented person and have kind of honed in on three different niches. And so my question, in using Clubhouse or even with my administrative consulting brand, would you recommend just focusing on one brand or work them all at the same time? I'm a strong person in faith, so I definitely believe that you should take your talents and use them all, but I don't want what I do to be confused when I go on different platforms for different things. So that's my question, and we'll love any feedback on how to continue to grow in that area and or use Clubhouse. And so I don't know if it's a matter of choosing which brand to focus on Clubhouse or do a little bit of each one, maybe once a week.
Now, I'm not a social media manager. I'm not no strategist. I'm not any of that. However, I think you could possibly do all three. Now, I think reading the titles of rooms and seeing where the conversations are would possibly help know which product of yours or service of yours to promote at that time. However, on whatever social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, that you choose to reference, that particular service needs to match, right? So if you come on Clubhouse and go into a grant writing room or a grant room or a trucker or looking for individuals of getting funding for their business, you need a grant writer, right? So in that particular one, if you are referring them to the links that are in your bio, which is Twitter and Instagram, I would hope to see that you're talking about grants on one of those platforms so they know which one to go to, right? Then, if you're on another day and then you speak about your nonprofit with the churches and helping young ladies have a better dialogue. I'm sorry, I didn't hear your, just don't remember your description, but a better dialogue to help them through their marriage so that they could stay married, whatever platform you refer them to get more information, just make sure that it aligns. I think it's okay for people to have multiple businesses and promote them, but I do believe that there it should be specific strategies and backup to go with it. So it doesn't look like, that individual is all over the place. Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. I think I've just been in my head about it and feel like I have to share everything, you know, at one time, and then wherever the chips fall, that's where they fall. Even when it comes to R&R administration right now, I mean, I could do a lot of things, but right now the focus is helping people with grants, even though I know I can do email and calendar management. So, yes, that makes so much sense. Thank you. Just
You're
talking it
welcome.
out.
And with those other services, even if you, this is just my opinion, doesn't mean it's right. Once again, I am not a social media manager and I am not a strategist unless it's dealing with email marketing. But even if you do have those other aspects, those other services, get a link tree, put it in your bio. And then whatever you speak about, refer them back to your link in your bio so they can get all of your information, right? Your link tree, you can put however many links up there you want. So just target specific rooms and have specific content on specific platforms, but always refer them back to your link so they can get everything that you have going on.
Thank you so much. It's Shantae, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And yes, you sound like a strategist to me. I'm just saying, even though you say you're not, and you do email strategy, so you sound like a strategist to me. So thank you.
Okay. I was in and out. I got some calls here and there, so I didn't hear everything. But I'm sure she took care of you and everything. I don't think there's anything wrong with being, I call it multi passionate, because sometimes we got talents, but it's the passion that makes us want to bring it all to the forefront. So nothing wrong at all with any of that. Not sure all what she she hit on. I feel so bad. I would just say too, make sure that you can find what aligns with each other. What are their common denominators between them? That will be helpful because it will help you close the gaps. If you're talking to someone and they're talking about grant writing and they're like, hey, I'm trying to open up my business. I really need to talk to you about this, this, and this. They might also need a bookkeeper. They might also need, somebody to help them with their calendar management. So I also would encourage everyone who aren't, who may be multi passionate to find the similarities and what aligns. Because if you're just focused on grant writing, and then you find out your client went out there and they're like, hey, I just got this new bookkeeper, so you may want to work with them. You might get a little frustrated because that could have been you too, getting that extra money. But you wasn't thinking about that at that time. So sometimes there's just things that, they also tie together. So I would definitely think about those things too. So you can pitch what you need to pitch to those specific audiences when the time comes and when it's appropriate. So that would be my only thing.
Definitely, definitely, definitely agree. with all my services, somebody had to point out to me, Shauntá, all your services deal with words. I just looked at him like, ugh. Because like you, Rhonda, I'm like, okay, I do newsletters and blogs, privacy policies, and low content books. That's so that they all different. They all got to do with writing and words. So I just combine them all together and I just put them all in one sentence. That's what I do. I play with words. So I agree, Lovely. I definitely agree with that because I just didn't think of it. I just know what services I had to offer, but I didn't lump them together. And that is great advice. Find that one common denominator. And for mine, it's words. I'm going to write something for you.
And the great thing about that is just it's actually the same similar audience. So with each of your brands, you want to think about the different people you're speaking with in their audience, but that audience may be very similar and may need two of the three brands or maybe need three of the three brands. You just don't know. But the more you can think about that ahead of time and kind of know how the alignment works, the easier it's going to be for you to explain it to whoever will come to you when the time comes. So, yeah, I'm all about just trying to be as proactive and prepared as possible.
Rhonda, you are more than welcome to let us know what you have going on.
Rhonda, if you want to go ahead, what do you have going on? Anything you want to share?
Well, first, thank you for letting me share because a lot of times guests don't get to share. Thank you. I would love to continue to connect with you ladies. So I just followed you all so I can know when you're doing something else. But I'm in the process of finalizing my first journal book because with my Rhonda Live brand, I coach people on how to experience joy in their lives. And so I'm excited because my first journal book will be released in October. So I would love for you all to be a part of the mailing list. It's literally a book that's going to coach people through difficult times and through different writing prompts. So that's one of the things I do have coming up that I'm kind of focusing on right now. And then, especially if you know anybody who's wanting to know anything about grant writing, they can go to my website, www.rnradmin.com, where I have a blog there and we're getting ready to release a course in November to help people with grant writing. So thank you so much for allowing me to share, and it's so nice to meet you all.
Our pleasure. Now, Rhonda, for the journal that's coming out, do you have that anywhere for anybody that's listening? What do they have to do, or where should they go so that they could get onto your email list to get that journal? Or is it going to be published somewhere that they can go and purchase it, which is one of my services? Yes, I did just give myself a plug.
See, I didn't know that. Oh, the more we learn from each other when we connect. But yes, I would recommend and would love for everyone to follow me on Instagram at Rhonda_live. And so there you can find how to join the mailing list and or connect with me with any of the other brands that I talked about.
I love that. Did you want to go next, Shauntá, or you want me to go?
Sure, I'll go. Earlier, I stated with the puzzles, so I will have a low content book of puzzles, whichever one gets the most attention off of my social media. You can go to my Instagram or my Twitter, and you will see the puzzles posted on Tuesdays, and answers are put up on Fridays. Once again, the one that gets the most attention, I will be creating a low content book for that particular one. And Rhonda, if you need assistance with publishing, just click on the link above our heads and you can see some books that I've already put out, as well as connect with me on any other services that I may have.
Awesome. I guess it's my turn. Again, my name is Lovelee Brooks, and I am the founder of Lovelee Occasions and Etc. And we are a virtual assistant agency. So we specialize in operations and specifically teams. So if your systems, your processes need a makeover, revamp, need to be looked at so you can get more of your time and make those more seamless, we are the people to go to. If you have a remote team, if you're needing to build out a remote team, if you're just wondering where to start, we definitely also assist with consulting in that form. And then I'm also a coach for new and inspiring virtual assistants. So, if you are looking at how to monetize your present day skills and how to bring them into this online world, and you want to monetize those, then I am the person to help you get that done. So, those is what I'm doing. And as far as everyone's talking about books, still working on this workbook that was published by Shauntá VA LLC. Great publisher. Let me just tell y'all. When we have some examples, I'm going to put them up here. So, yes, if you're wanting to have your own workbook to go with your course, and that's kind of actually what we did, but it can also stand alone and it looks fabulous. And Shauntá really did a really great job on doing that, but just doing the finishing tweaks, and you guys should see that momentarily, and that will be dropping. So if you are a VA or you're thinking of becoming a virtual assistant and you want to strengthen your foundation so you can have a really thriving career monetizing your skills online, then you can also look into this workbook as a great way to start. That's all I got going on for right now.
All right.
Thank you for listening to Two VAs and a Mic.
I'm Shauntá Harris.
And I'm Lovelee Brooks. Until next time.
Until next time, peace.